everyone and welcome to round 5 of the 2019 GR Supra GT Cup. Today we'll be watching drivers from the Central and South America region. My name is Chris McCarthy, joining me as ever is Jimmy Broadbent.
It was a very lively region as the Central South America one, so looking forward to seeing what they can put on for us today.
Lively it is indeed, and let's see how the points stand after 4 rounds of 13. Carl McQueen, healthy lead out front, 4,402 points, a good 500 points clear there of Nico Am. And Nico Am also quite comfortable there. Turismo Rodrigo around 300 points back. I'd say, of all the tables, that one's pretty spread out at the front.
If you're looking towards, at the front as well, and also just over the whole thing. First to 16th, there's over 2,000 points between the two there, so not as much to gain for a good result here, but still can't hurt you.
Well, I'd say about 10th to 15th is where it's definitely all to play for. But things can change very quickly in racing, and the racing today is going to be very, very difficult to say the least. Let's have a look at the track for you. We are going to be racing around the Nordschleife. It's going to be an awesome race. Of course, we've got the GP layout at the bottom as well to add into the mix before we go on to the Northern Loop. There you can see how long the track is. It's of course a hugely long track, very, very difficult indeed. Some very famous corners in there to tackle as well, Jimmy.
Yep, of course, this entire circuit is one of legend, really. If you can get round here in one piece, that's considered an achievement. Then imagine racing round here and trying to pass someone. That's why racing this circuit is so much fun, and, well, you guys are going to love it, trust me.
Yeah, well, of course, racing around here is good, but racing can sometimes lead to penalties, and this is where the penalties will be awarded. That penalty line before the back straight is an absolute disaster if you have to go through there, particularly after contact. If you get a 3 to 5 second penalty, say, your race is pretty much over, so you need to avoid that. And, of course, we got another penalty line down there at the bottom hairpin as well. And let's bring up then the rest of the race details for you. Here we are on screen then, to the right hand side of your screen. To the top right, you'll see we're in the Toyota GR Supra RZ as ever. Everyone in the same car, everyone on the same sports hard tyres, 3 laps, 15 times tyre wear. What's not to like about that?
All about the drivers this championship, which is what I like to see. It's good to see good drivers be rewarded with equal machinery. And we do have a tyre strategy here for you guys. Well, I'll say that. Essentially...
Oh, what happened there?
Yeah, essentially, you just drive around. Don't pit. If you do pit around here, you're going to lose a lot of time, and it's just totally not worth it. These sport hard tyres, whilst they will wear a little bit towards the end of the race, it's just not worth doing. The time you make up from a fresher set of tyres is nowhere near the amount of time you lose for a pit stop. So if you're pitting, you're doing something wrong. Yeah,
well, anyone that's done their homework will know not to come into the pits. Well, let's see the grid then. Let's get straight down and get racing underway. Of course, 3 laps ahead of us. Everyone on equal machinery, as we said. This is all about the drivers. It's all about skill. It's all about who can get round this track fastest in these cars. And Nico Am is going to be on pole position. Carl McQueen, of course, right up there in the championship. The Chilean will be starting from 2nd place. DNA Nike, the Brazilian, is going to be on the inside of row number 2. On the outside, his countryman Alex. And then we go to 5th place, where we will find Gabriel, another Brazilian there as well. Of course, Brazilians always do very well in Gran Turismo. We've got another Chilean, Johnny, starting in 6th place. Down to 7th, we've got Macon Lieber. Going down to 8th place, that's where we find Udi Alex. And then on row number 5 and rounding out the top 10, we have Nakito. And 10th place, we have what did we say there?
I said Nick.
Nick?
There, 10th,
yeah, that threw me off there.
And then 11th, we have Hector Racer there in the rather nicely livered Supra. Down in 12th, we have DSF Fernando there, just outside the top 10. And in 13th place, WM Idaros in 13th. And down in 14th position, probably not a good qualifying for Sark here, but I'm sure he'll be looking to try and get up the field as quick as he can. MX Power Mark there in 15th position. Then down in 16th, we have Fox Die, obviously a fan of the Metal Gear franchise there. Then in 17th place, we have Kavuka, 1987. Towards the back of the field, then we have Maxalu in 18th position. Then behind him in 19th, in the very yellow-looking Supra, is Leo CSV. So starting down towards the back there. 19 runners taking part in this race. Should be a good one.
should indeed. And the Argentinian out front, Nico AM, is going to be the one to lead us down towards turn 1. Leo CSV's got a very difficult task from the back of the field there. You can just see behind Maxilou in 18th place. That's who is going to be starting at the back of the field, but of course we know that Nico AM, Carl McQueen, one of the drivers who has been doing very well in the championship so far. Of course, it is a 13-round championship in total. We've had 4 rounds completed so far, this round number 5, and it all leads to a final at the end of the year when we get to our FIA GT Championships in Tokyo. So that's kind of what they're all battling for. They want to get to that final event in Tokyo, which I'm sure is going to be cracking indeed, particularly when we put all our 5 regions together. But the Central and South America region, we had 3 regions before. Now we have a total of 5 Central South America, split from the North America region. But out front, let's get round number 5 underway then, and Nico AM is going to lead us down towards turn number 1 for the first time. Carl McQueen is in 2nd place there, DNA Knight just behind. This rolling start should mean that we have a nice and clean start, but let's not speak too soon. I think I saw DNA Knight going for a bit of a move down the inside. I think it was more a defensive line there ahead of Alex, the Brazilian, trying to go past early doors, but Nico AM is going to lead us then down towards the left-hander. We've got Carl McQueen sat in just behind. I don't see any major changes. I don't see any huge gaps opening up. It means we all got through safely. Nico AM into the right-hander down towards the Dunlop hairpin is going to lead the way with Carl McQueen right in there behind.
I'm sure Carl McQueen will be trying to get by before we get on to the Nordschleife proper. The Nürburgring GP circuit we're on now is the easiest place to pass. Carl McQueen looks to the inside. He's still there late on the brakes. He's kind of bleeds off the brakes a bit, gets the car alongside. Now, can he get the power there? He's got the tighter line on the inside, so he's not able to accelerate as well. Next corner is a left-hander coming into the Schumacher S, so he might have to drop back into 2nd place there. He does do that, and Nico Am defends the lead for now. But as I was saying, really, once we get onto the Nordschleife, it's very difficult to pass. If you want to do it now, then try and build the gap as you get on to the northern loop. But Nico Am still managing to defend the 1st place for now, but the first 4 are all very close at the moment, and one mistake from either of them could see the order change very rapidly.
Yeah, well, Carl McQueen making his intentions very clear early doors here as Nico Am, I think, dealt with the pressure very well at the moment. DNA Knight sat there in 3rd place, Alex in 4th, Gabriel also closing in 5th place, Alex likewise in 6th place. Into the chicane we go, very fast indeed, and Carl McQueen is now going to have to settle for 2nd as we go on to the Nordschleife. Right, this becomes a completely different track and almost a completely different race now as we go on to the Northern Loop. DNA Knight sat there in 3rd. It's going to be about who makes the least amount of mistakes, who is able to get round the track the quickest, of course, as well. It's a very difficult circuit in these cars, and Nico Am's going to have a real task on his hands to defend his lead, particularly if it's like this when we get to that long back straight for the first time. But Carl McQueen sat there in 2nd so far.
I mean, one of the great things about the Nordschleife is it's just a track from the old days, so to speak, so it's no runoff anywhere. Yeah. If you make a mistake, you're in the barrier, and a contact penalty of the barrier is quite severe in Gran Turismo, of course. It's these guys, I mean, don't think anything different. These are all at the top of their game, so any small mistake like that, and that will be the end of their race. I mean, we've seen in practice races where that has happened. Someone's made a small mistake on the 1st lap, and that's been their race over because they just can't recover from it around here. You cannot pass on the Nordschleife here. So getting stuck behind someone is pretty much a nightmare. Speaking of though, Carl McQueen is gaining slightly on Nico Am in front, and they've gapped 3rd and 4th slightly. So the top pair trying to break away a little bit and seeing if they can maybe put a bit of a gap, bit of safety there. And you see that the slipstream coming into effect down the hill, and his left hand is one big power slide around there. You feel like a proper bad boy doing that when you're going around there, and you realise you've gone onto the grass, which is usually what happens to me. Look how much Nico's gained through there. Really close now.
Yeah, I'd say the top 6 here look fairly close together at the moment, but look how close the top 2 are. This is Carl McQueen really saying to Nico Am, I'm right here, what are you going to do about it? Nico Am has got to just try and stay cool now, don't make any mistakes, despite the fact Carl McQueen is putting this pressure on him. Car McQueen can't really get past on this section, so Nico Am just has to focus, just has to look forward really. Don't look backwards when you're going around the Nordschleife. That's the last thing you want to do, because the corners come up very, very quickly.
And the great thing about racing in this GR Supra is that it's not a racing car. It doesn't produce dirty air, or not very much of it anyway. So you can follow that closely for a lot of the circuit. You can get right up behind the bumper of the guy in front, put on that pressure, keep his mirrors forward, try and force him into a mistake in the background. I saw Alex Extreme look up the inside of DNA Mike, and there you go. That's the result. That's not a passing place. DNA Mike gets ejected from the circuit, and I would not be surprised if we see a penalty there for Alex Extreme. It looks like he just had him off there at that corner. We'll wait and see what happens there. I'm not seeing a penalty pop up. It looks like Alex Extreme got away with that one, but his car showing the scars of a fight. Here is the replay.
Let's have a look. And no contact.
Okay, I take it back. Very sorry, Alex. It looked like he had DNA Mike off there, but Mike just got offline. And once you're out there, it's very difficult to come back again.
Yeah, Mike, I think just looking in his mirrors a little bit too much there, and I think in a way that was actually really good driving from Alex. Just put the pressure under Nike's, sort of said, I'm going to come down the inside. Nike went, well, I better brake a little bit later then, and ended up
feel bad.
Put himself.
Don't
worry, he'll forgive you.
He did a really good job, and I'm like, no, you're a bad man.
That was terrible driving.
Yeah, but
it was actually really good.
As a result, he's now up onto the podium provisionally. Anyway, sideways down there. Great to see the cars move about so much. I've already said they are just essentially road cars on a hard compound sports tyre, which means the grip isn't really there a lot of the time, and because there's no downforce, you rely on the mechanical grip of the tyre. As a result, they move around. It's great to watch them, especially in the heavy braking zone. You see the rear start dancing around as all the weight shifts to the front. I think that's something that's done really well in GT, is watching the cars do that from an external camera.
This is the thing I love about this championship. Of course, it's been formed just this year, and this is the first year we are watching it. One thing I do like, of course, when we see the Group 3, Group 2 cars, Group 1 cars, you've got kind of different types of car, but in this, it's all the same car. They are all the same. You can all get the same speed through the corners. You're all at the same speed down the straight. Performance is exactly the same, so there's no reason why you should be slower or faster. Say that's why they are all nose to tail all the time, and we get some fantastic racing, especially being road cars. You can just follow through the corner without any problems. However, I better stop what I'm saying pretty quickly, because it looks like two moves could happen very quickly. One for the lead and one for third place, because Car McQueen, his patience is wearing thin. Likewise, Alex behind now. Was that a move from the other Alex? Yes,
Alex
it was.
UDI Alex has tried to go around the outside, but now he's on
the
carousel. Line. He's on the bad line, so he's got they're both trying to...
wow.
Watch him moving. He's sideways all the way through, gathers it up, and that already for me is move of the race.
Wow.
Throws it into the carousel, just about stops it, drifts through the centre of it, and takes third place. What a move there by UDI Alex. I think Alex Extreme behind is probably like, well, fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted it more than I did, and took the place. What a move that is. And just to very quickly go back to what you were saying, Chris, about the cars all being equal. He put that move on him in an equal car.
Yeah.
And the car in front had the same capability to do that. And for me, in this series, it's at the risk of enraging probably some real-life racing enthusiasts, and I am one of those as well. This is the purer kind of racing.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, it's just the driver.
Yeah.
The driver makes a difference in this, and that's essentially it. There's no setup, there's no different parts in the car. It's all simulated to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it's something you actually can't get, which I think is a really interesting point about sim racing.
Yeah, it's point well made, I think, and exactly something I was thinking as well. Now, UDI Alex, that was a real, panic situation there, because coming up to the carousel, it was thinking,
oh bother,
what do I do here? Like, you can't drive around the outside there. It's just pretty much impossible to try and make a move there. But he had two choices: fall down to fifth, or gamble and take third place at the risk of potentially getting a penalty and going off.
Oh no, and he's making a mistake now. All that hard work undone there for UDI Alex. He runs onto the gravel. Luckily through here, it's again very difficult to pass. We've got a front row seat here with Gabriel, who's running in fifth at the moment. He's watching both Alexes go at it at the moment. But yeah, I think, to be honest, the reason they got through there, Chris, is because Alex Extreme saw UDI Alex kind of gave him a tiny bit of room, just an amount of room to get by, if he, get round if he needed to. I don't think what he expected was to see him jump in front of him there and lose the place. Although saying that now, coming onto the straight, Alex Extreme is kind of in the better position because he's going to have the draft down the straight, whereas UDI Alex has to punch the hole for the guys behind him.
Yeah, well, Alex Extreme, they're just exiting the carousel a little bit earlier than you're supposed to, and lost a little bit of time, but still well within region here to just drive past down the straight. So, well, if you're not familiar with the Nordschleife, this is what the back straight is like. This is how long it is. We're already over 100 mile an hour, but just wait till you see this slipstream. As long as Alex ahead of us has got a good exit, then he will just pull right up to the back of UDI Alex and go straight past. Gabriel likewise behind. You can already see UDI Alex trying to break the toe. And Alex Extreme, it seems, is happy to stay in fourth for the time being, but Karma Queen doesn't want to stay in second place anymore, and Nico Am is going to lose the lead, and Karma Queen, the Chilean, takes the lead away from the Argentinian, and that was a pretty easy move, the easiest move for the lead Karma Queen will ever make.
Yeah, definitely just swept round the outside there, using the momentum from the slipstream, and that was it, move made and done. Now, can Nico Am come back, coming down to the first corner? Alex Extreme has taken the place back there. I think he was maybe waiting, just trying to wait for the moment to strike there, and really caught UDI Alex off guard. In fact, so off guard that Gabriel got by as well. So UDI Alex, after that great move at the carousel, finds himself back down in fifth.
Yeah, well, we're not calling the moves from the Alexes so far, but Karma Queen in the lead, having to defend a little bit from Nico Am, and defends perfectly and holds on to the lead, but great driving as well behind from Alex Extreme to go and take the lead there. Gabriel, good driving as well. The three Brazilians battling very hard at the moment. Gabriel up to fourth, UDI Alex down to fifth, and this is how it happened, Jimmy.
So here is Gabriel. He has the slipstream on the back of Alex there. Just to give him a little bit of a push on the way by. Let's
have a look.
Let's see what happens here. So we're coming now underneath the bridge here. He just darts to the inside of Alex, and I think there is a bit of contact here because what happens to UDI? I think he must have made a mistake if that's the case, because he was third down here. Usually that's it, game, set, and match, with the position. And there you go, yeah, he got on a bit too hot, car gets sideways, and they both do very well to get around him. It's actually Gabriel does a fantastic job of one, missing him, and two, making it the position. So good job there by Alex and by Gabriel.
Yeah, so just a slight mistake there from UDI Alex, but there we go. We've got 2 more laps of that, so when we get to the back straight, always love waiting for that moment when we've got a train like that. But here's our 2 leaders. Karma Queen back into the lead ahead of Nico Am as they come down towards the hairpin. And now it's Nico Am's turn to follow, but that's a little bit of a mistake from Karma Queen. So this pretty much a replay of the last lap, although they're just in different positions. It's Karma Queen now on the inside, coming up towards the Schumacher S, and this time Nico Am just slots in behind. So 2 leaders, absolutely nose to tail. Alex, UDI Alex and Gabriel likewise. In fact, is that a gap? UDI Alex has dropped back in 4th place a little bit. So 3rd to 4th gap has actually opened up. The gap that certainly hasn't opened up is these 2, Karma Queen and Nico Am. It looks like Nico Am is going to be the one behind going on to the northern loop. Let's have a look, because you can't really overtake going up towards this chicane unless you're literally fully alongside before you get there. And yes, it's Nico Am who slots in behind. Karma Queen's going to lead us then.
Fast chicane, a little bit of a bop there through there from Karma Queen for Nico. So come on, mate, go on with it. I don't want to slow down too much. And it looks like Karma Queen is struggling a little bit of those rear tyres now. Of course, these guys, traction control does exist in this car in the real world and in game as well. But a lot of the guys choose not to use it. So at this point, that's why you're seeing so much sideways action. To be honest, Chris, if you were driving one of his road cars around as Karma Queen kicks up some dust in front, it's probably a better idea not to have the TC. It can be quite restrictive. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned the gap between 3rd and 4th. That's come down. It's halved, in fact, now. So UDI Alex is doing a great job at the moment to close down Alex Extreme. There you go. Now, I mentioned that gap had gone to about a second, maybe slightly over, but Alex Extreme looking all out of shape at the moment, and UDI Alex has closed back in. Gabriel has done the opposite, unfortunately. Gabriel has dropped away. Now behind this, Nick, Johnny and Hector are pretty close together as well. That's the battle for 6th place. We haven't really mentioned that one so far, and I'd say that's the only other real close battle we have going on. So we've got 3 very close battles, and they are all within the top 10. So here we go. We've got the 2 Alexes, Alex Extreme versus UDI Alex, not for the first time. Gabriel sitting in just behind, and big overtaking opportunity about to come up. Will UDI Alex, I wonder, try and throw one up the inside? Let's have a look around the fast left-hander, now down towards the braking zone into the right, and UDI Alex is going to sit behind. Is there going to be a mistake from Alex Extreme? A little bit.
It's very wide there.
Oh, I saved it though.
Yeah, luckily that runoff there was there to greet him. That curb kind of pushes you back down, which is nice to have there. But it's a great place to overtake there up into Rd.5, because the car tracks round to the inside line on its own through that corner. Of course, you want to try and bring it back to the left so you can then take the best line through the corner. But what tends to happen is the guy in front that's trying to take the race in line doesn't really keep an eye on the inside that much.
Big mistake.
There was a mistake there from Alex. Now, I didn't see that.
Alex Extreme just got a little bit sideways and just found himself into the barrier, so got it a little bit crossed up.
So easy.
So a big shame there, easily done. Let's have a look.
So he comes up to the top here just after the compression, and he's on the inside line, a little bit too quick there, gets a bit of a slide on, then has to try and recover it, can't recover it in time. The car pitches to the right hand side, luckily not too much of a slowdown for Alex there. Maybe a bit of a dent to the pride though after that, down to 5th position he goes.
Yeah, I think that exactly, but still a lap and a half to go, which is a long way to go around the Nordschleife. And Alex Extreme, plenty of times. This has been a really good battle to watch, hasn't it? I think all 3 drivers. I don't think Gabriel's running 3rd, but Alex Extreme has been 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Likewise, UDI Alex. So, been a lot of changes going on. Not necessarily all of them have been overtakes. There's been quite a few mistakes from the 2 Alexes at times, but some very good moves from both of them as well. And it's easy to just make those little mistakes around the Nordschleife. We did talk about that at the start.
Yeah, 100% around here. I mean, there's no 2 corners alike on this circuit, which is makes it so difficult. And again, with all the elevation and the camber changes in the road, it's very difficult to put a car around here consistently and efficiently. Especially if you maybe aren't familiar with the track, it's very difficult to learn this circuit, because you have to do a full 9 or nearly 10-minute lap around here to get an idea of what it is. And 10 minutes per lap, it means you get to try the corner once every 10 minutes, so it's quite hard to learn. But once you get there, it becomes a very, very pleasurable experience, I can tell you that now. We have Nico Am and Carl McQueen. They're still fighting at the top there, about 6 tenths between the 2 of them at the moment. Carl McQueen seems to be a little bit more aggressive, I say aggressive is the wrong word, a little bit more confident on the Nordschleife than Nico Am was in the last lap. But of course, if you have to deal with things like slipstream, they'll be doing that right now coming up the hill. We're still watching Extreme at the moment in 5th position, waiting.
Yeah, the gap's come down, hasn't it, between 2 leaders?
Here we go.
4.5 tenths.
It's a big uphill section here, so having a slipstream is really very helpful. You don't realise how steep this is until I've had the fortunate opportunity to be a passenger around here in real life.
Right.
I've gone around here, and this section is very steep. I remember we were driving up in a BMW Sentinel, and it was so much faster than this poor little Yaris on the inside trying to get up there. It's a full engine. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's a big climb, and if you have a slipstream, it's definitely it's preferential to be behind there, but it's just not really anything to pass. It's very much a one line through there, and if you have people going side by side, it usually means someone's going off. So.
Yeah, I imagine. What are the carousels like? Because I believe we're getting up to the first one now.
The first carousel is incredibly bumpy. Like the game gives you an idea, but when you're going through there in real life, it's the way it really is.
Yeah.
I wonder that sound at the moment. But fortunately, these guys don't have to deal with that as much with this. And of course, with their road car suspension, it's not going to be as severe as going through there in a race car. I mean, going through there in a race car, I've been told it's like being kicked to the teeth a couple of times on the way through. So, very severe. Definitely not something you see in a lot of circuits. Again, it's just a relic of an old track.
Book a dentist appointment basically before you do it.
They've got one on the circuit, just in case.
Well, here we go, back to the lead battle. Nico Am following Carl McQueen, and these 2 just challenging each other all the time. Carl McQueen will extend the gap, Nico Am will respond. Nico Am likewise will get right onto the back of Carl McQueen, and he'll pull away a little bit again, and they've overtaken each other a few times as well for good measure. So a real good head-to-head duel going on here. Proper classic racing. This is what we love to see. 2 drivers on the limit, not really making any big mistakes, and both matching the challenges that the other ones are putting up to them.
It's always very, very satisfying when you find another driver who's got a very similar skill level to you, because you can have that fight and it doesn't become about who can push harder. It becomes almost like a game of mental chess, you know, like you think, right, okay, how can I distract him, how can I try and get the advantage here? Like, for example, if you're in Nico's position right now, you're thinking, well, okay, well, we've got the straight coming up, so I can probably put a move on there, but then that means that I'm going to be in the lead for the next lap coming down the straight if he can't get back by me, which is very likely around here, which means that he'll have the advantage going into the back straight and could possibly win. So if you're Nico, you're thinking really far into the distance of the race. There's no point thinking about the moment. You've got to think about how everything's going to play out. Carl McQueen actually making a little bit of a mistake. They're going a bit wide in the first part of the corner. Luckily, though, not really a place you could overtake. And now into the second carousel. It's very awkward to get out of this because the racing line isn't what you expect it to be, and the carousel kind of fires you out onto the middle of the circuit as opposed over to the right where you want to be, so you end up fighting with the car a bit through there, and it's not a very pleasant experience. Then we come through this long last right hand, and getting a good exit out of here is really important. Carl McQueen's done that actually, he's got 8 tenths there on Nico Am, but I can tell you now who will lose that when we get to the bridge at the end of the straight.
Yeah, here comes Nico Am, and just watch that top graphic to the left of your screen. You'll see the gap is now less than 7 tenths, 6.5. It just keeps coming down and down. Carl McQueen just weaving ever so slightly to try and break the toe, but it's not really worth doing at the moment because Nico Am is closing in. Carl McQueen is going, the way he's driving at the moment, you think he's had a couple of drinks, but that is not the case. Nico Am is going to come back through. Let's have a look. He's getting off the throttle. Look at the bottom right hand side of your screen, everyone. You'll see that white bar is not all the way to the red. It's
he lifted there. His right foot was off the barrel.
And that is what you were talking about. He's sinking far into the race. He's sinking for the last lap, isn't he?
Okay, so now what you have to do if you're Nico is stay with Carl McQueen now. If you're Carl McQueen, you have two options. You either make a mistake, he says in inverted commas, or you try and make a gap. So it's basically, do you want to play the game with Nico Am, or do you want to try and just think, you know what, I'm going to go for it and see how far see how much of a gap we can get. So we'll see. And only about 10 minutes or so until we get our conclusion. Carl McQueen there goes a little bit wide into the first corner and is all right there over second. Nico Am will stay in second for now as we come on to the GP circuit.
Well, now that's confidence from Nico Am. However, the only problem with doing that is if you make a mistake now, you look a little bit silly. So Nico Am cannot afford to make any mistakes, and clearly very confident that he won't do so. And if he goes and wins the race playing into those tactics, fair play to him. That would be a fantastic way to go and do it. But if there's a mistake now and he loses out, he'll look back and say, well, maybe I should have just taken the lead. We got drivers coming into the pit, slow down the order. We didn't expect that, but perhaps they've just felt that they're unable to carry on the tyres at the moment and want to just switch to a fresh set.
I'm going to stick by my phrase, or what I said at the start of the race, that if you are making a pit stop, you are doing it wrong.
Well, look, this could be an experience that they're down the field and maybe they haven't done their preparation, and they'll learn for next time.
Either that, or they just they're not really that bothered about the result now. They're quite far. They're quite far off the back. They want to go out there and see how quick they can land. It's hard to kind of understand it when you know it's just not a good move to make for the race. It's like coming into the pit lane and putting some square tyres in your car. Why would you possibly do that? But anyway, back to our fight for the lead now. Only 3 tenths separate them, and I've got to say, I mean, I've been in the position, I'm sure you have as well, Chris, when you're leading, and there's a guy just buzzing all over your bumper on the back. It's quite hard to deal with that pressure, isn't it?
It is extremely difficult because mentally, it's harder mentally, I'd say, than it is just getting around the circuit. It is, you're thinking, he's quicker. Surely he's quicker. Or you're thinking, I can't make a mistake. And when you start thinking that, you often do make a mistake. But Carl McQueen hasn't really made any major of those so far. One thing I do want to just pick up is, and I'll just do that quickly, is that Alex Extreme has dropped off the back of the battle for third by about 8 seconds.
Maybe there's a penalty there.
Not too sure what happened there. And it's Gabriel now who is in control of this, which is a first, really. So that's good to see. Gabriel has stayed nice and patient throughout the race and is now third. And UDI Alex is perhaps over-driving so slightly, but look at this, less than 2.5 tenths between Carl McQueen and Nico Am. This is all going well for Nico Am so far. This is where he wants to be. However, we have seen... Yeah, he has actually, hasn't he?
He's back down. He's pushing.
He's pushing him.
Carl McQueen now down the straight now. Will he have a go here? Now watch his right foot. That's his throttling foot. He's getting off. He's braking just before now. Slide it in. Wait for it to go full throttle again.
Let's have a look.
And bam, and then on the brake. So yeah, I think he's playing the game now. He knows where he wants to be. And that is a big part of racing is positioning. I mean, it's very hard to tell someone have them believe you. It only matters being in first when you cross the line.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only point that matters about being in first position.
Yeah.
Right now, it doesn't really matter who's there. Of course, Carl McQueen has a little bit of an advantage in that he has a car in front of Nico Am, but when you get to the back straight, how wide it is, you could not possibly defend that unless you're weaving heavily. And Carl McQueen now, I think, really starting to feel a little bit of that pressure from Nico Am behind, and they're getting sideways there and actually using all the curb and making sure to try and keep the momentum the best that he can. But I think Nico Am is thinking, right, I don't really care what that led to laps. You don't get remembered for how many laps you had to get remembered for the win.
Exactly. If you only look at the result, you'll only look at the top and see who won. And well, Carl McQueen is in the lead at the moment, but as you've said, it only matters when we get down to that line. We've got that big straight before we get there, and you've already seen examples of how things can change very quickly down there and how dramatically they can change. So what does Carl McQueen do? I mean, if Carl McQueen knows he's playing the game now, he's going to have to make his own one up, surely.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a mistake at some point, one that would allow Nico Am through. But then sometimes you get into this ridiculous situation where no one wants to pass each other and they just slow down.
So, does anyone want to win this race?
Yeah, but to be fair, they've got the time to do that. 15 seconds to play with to try and sort this out. And, I mean, it's every man for themselves, but this is part of the challenge of a Nordschleife. I mean, we're chatting casually. I mean, these guys have to really throw these cars around here and really fight. It's a fight against the circuit first, and a fight against a competitor second around here. So, I think once they get through there, there'll be a sigh of release. And, oh wait, we're racing.
Yeah.
I'm
just thinking about what I said. Is Carl McQueen going to make his own game up? He doesn't really have time. Look, just watching on board now, you'll see there's no real time to have a break round here. So
if I were Carl McQueen now, what I would do is I'd let Nico Am get into the back of it, and I would pull off line and get off the throttle. And Nico Am would have no choice but to drive by me. And I'd be right, okay, now I'm behind him through the last sector and try and pull him from there. Because the draft is going to make the difference. It's either that or you just have you're just uber defensive coming into the last part because it doesn't really work out too well. It sounds ludicrous to sit here and say, I would give up the lead.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? But that's just how the track works here, that long last straight. The toe is the king.
Yeah, I mean, particularly to anyone watching who maybe hasn't had the experience of racing right at the front in a race like this, at a level like this, that they're going to be thinking, what are we talking about? But
and they think that anyway, to be honest.
I mean, it's just another reason, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I think there'll be people who definitely understand that. But Carl McQueen up to the first carousel. Here we go, and still leading the way at the moment. One thing we could possibly see is Carl McQueen just trying to back Nico Am up as we get to that straight, perhaps, and then try and go. But still, I mean, you're going to run out of time. The straight is that long that Nico Am will just catch back up again and go straight past, and Carl McQueen will have nothing to do but just watch him go by.
I think you need about 1.5 seconds, maybe 1.2. I think, to be safe.
I mean, the best thing, maybe the best thing you can do is just push as hard as he can now. Just try and build a gap.
Let's see what Carl McQueen does. He's got 6 attempts now. A little bit of a gap opening up just through that last sector. And this is a sector that I always say that I enjoy watching. It's just a really fast-flowing sector where someone who knows where they're going and someone knows the car can easily make up quite a lot of time. It's all about this confidence in the car and just really demonstrating the ability that these guys all have. They're all incredibly fast, these guys, in these races, which is why we commentate on them. And coming through the sector now, late apex here for Karl McQueen through there, and off to the outside, a little bit too far off to the outside. That might be a penalty, we'll see. Then through the YouTube corner, got a bit of run off to the left here. You can drive out the corner, really use the curb, and now we break uphill and pitch the car into the left. There's a big curb on the outside these guys like to take, and you see Karl McQueen going a bit wide there, carrying a bit too much speed in. And whilst he did gain a little bit of time through there, he's now losing it because of that. Now we come through this little jump here, try and brake a tiny bit before the jump usually, but these guys going over them braking there, so they're very confident in the brakes in this GR Supra. Karl McQueen suffering a lot from understeer there, and now we go through the section that I like to call the roller coaster, incredibly quick down there, just a matter of straight lining, bumping off each curb, letting the road guide you through. There's no point fighting the road camber through. And look at this, Karl McQueen has lost all kind of time. This is going to be a very close run down the straight, I think, Chris.
It is. You can just see Nico Am closing in now, and you can see we're getting close to that straight. Not a long way to go now before we're onto it. And Karl McQueen may be leading at the moment, but how much longer will that be for as we approach the second carousel? There we go through it, and now, oh, well, Karl McQueen running a little bit wide, and Nico Am may actually have to take the lead here. Oh, well, Karl McQueen, that looked like a genuine mistake to me, more than anything else, or was it? Because he hit the brakes going in a straight line there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Karl McQueen...
Inverted commas mistake?
Yeah, I think he might have played this to perfection. He's got a good run out there as well. He's got the draft. Nico Am thinking, oh, wait a minute, this is what I was meant to be doing. And here comes Karl McQueen. He's got watch the speed in the bottom right-hand corner there. 140 miles an hour will shift up into 7th gear when we get to about 150 or so. Pulls out of the slipstream. There is 7th gear. Now it's just a drag race down the straight, and of course Karl McQueen's had the slingshot from the draft. He'll drive past Nico Am in a straight line. Now Nico Am's going to dive back into the slipstream, and we're far from the end of the straight yet, so Nico Am might come back from this. He's now starting to pull up in the draft as well, coming down to the braking zone. One last chance to get on the brakes heavy. Karl McQueen sits on the racing line though, and I think he's got this done. So nice and easy into this last section now. Don't overshoot in the braking zone. Focus as much as you can on exit. And Karl McQueen a little bit sloppy out of there. He's going to be a bit slow off the exit. Is Nico Am going to be able to pull back on him? He's gaining on the straight. He's gaining. That is coming down all the time. 1.5 seconds. No, he's not going to quite get it. I don't think Karl McQueen's going to cross the line. And he's going to take the victory there. Only just from Nico Am. Well played, Karl McQueen. Well played, my friend.
Yeah, I think we both know what he did there, and a lot of people watching do as well. Fantastic stuff from Karl McQueen. Nico Am, well, he drove a superb race to finish second, as did the Brazilian here, Gabriel. Fantastic performance, a 5.5 second gap back to UDI Alex in the end. Well done to Gabriel. UDI Alex drove a fantastic race as well, putting on a good show for us, as did Alex Extreme. Everyone in that top 5, superb performances all the way through. This was a good battle all the way. We mentioned it a few times. We didn't get to see it as much, but Nick is going to come home in 6th place. DNA Nike will finish in 7th place, and they had got a little bit of a show off there from DNA Nike at the end. WRM comes across the line now to finish in 8th place, and Johnny will come along to finish in 9th place, and well, DSF Fernando should round out the top 10. But there's confirmation of the results, just 800ths between Karl McQueen and Nico Am in the end. Great result between the pair of them. As you've just pointed out, it was looking at best lap times there, it was pretty close between the likes of Karl McQueen and UDI Alex particularly, wasn't it? But there you can see 1st to 8th, 9th to 16 now on screen for you as well. Pretty big gaps as we got down the field. Just shows how good the leaders were doing and how hard they were pushing. Sorry, but despite the fact that they were racing and passing each other at times, and even playing games with each other. And then you can see the rest of the rankings, 17th through to 19th. So let's bring up the points then. That's now 5 rounds completed. We're almost halfway through the season. Karl McQueen leads the way, 4,402 points from Nico Am. So great to see those two up there. A great race as well between them, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come. On the move, the likes of Alex Extreme and Nick, UDI Alex as well. Great racing from the pair of them, and there'll be more of that when we have our exhibition race at the Nürburgring. We'll have a live broadcast for you on the 21st of June. Make sure you join us, but for now, it's goodbye.